extra beaver. Make sure your hair's sticking out of my.
We need to hire Lene as our makeup artist. I'll buy you box.
Hey, what's up, guys? Nez Hoover here with Derek Gonzales. We're here to give a UFC 208 preview and predictions. We run through the card, some of the key matchups, and give some predictions. And first, we'll start with one of the highlights of the undercard is Dustin Poirier versus Jim Miller. How do you see that one playing out?
The way that I see that one playing out is I'm going to go with Poirier. I think Poirier is going to come out on top in that one. I think it's going to be a good fight, a very competitive fight. I just see Poirier coming out on top, being a tough matchup for Miller.
I agree 100% there. I think Poirier's got too much for Miller at this point in his career. Although Miller's tough as nails, as tough as they come, I see Poirier just pulling away with this one.
It's one of those fights, so he does have to keep his focus because Miller being tough, keeping him in the fight too long can cause trouble there for Poirier. So Poirier's got to get ahead, get put him on.
And then we got next up we got Kenny versus Glover Teixeira.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What I feel like Kenny is a newcomer to a very shallow division, but I think Teixeira's just got too much experience. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Kenny come out with a surprise knockout of Teixeira. But I think overall, I think Teixeira's going to hang on and win probably a unanimous decision and kind of keep climbing that ladder. The division's a little unsettled right now with pound for pound king John Jones still out, and we got Cormier and Johnson fighting here pretty soon. So the division's up for grabs, and I think Teixeira continues to stay up in that top 5.
I think Teixeira's going to pull out the victory in this one. I think outside of the top, 3, 4 guys in that division, there's not a lot of depth. Cannonier is a great guy, a new guy coming in here. He's hot, 9-1. Had a slip up there, first round knockout, but he's won 2 fights since then. So I think he could potentially pull up the upset, but I think the experience comes into factor here, and I think Teixeira pulls out the upset, or pulls out the win and avoids the upset to continue moving up towards the title run and seeing how it shakes out. We got Cormier, we got Johnson matching up, and then we got John Jones, who's going to be coming back here. Teixeira's got to really find out where he is, win this fight, find out where he is with Johnson and Cormier, and maybe make another title run there at John Jones and those top 3 guys.
Yeah, I think that division's up for grabs outside the top 3, so everyone's kind of, jockeying for position there to be the next guy up. The next matchup we want to go over is Jacare versus Tim Boetsch. Boetsch is a huge underdog, but in this fight, I feel like Boetsch is going to come up with a big upset. Jacare, I feel like, is, nobody's really got to him. But at the same time, Boetsch is one of these guys, you count him out, and then he comes out and just completely surprises you. And this guy's a freaking animal. So I'm going to go with Boetsch with a huge upset. I believe he's a plus 450 underdog, which is a huge underdog in MMA. But I'm going to go with Boetsch in a huge upset.
If I were putting money on it, I'd go with Boetsch, but I'm going to go with Jacare. I think he understands those points that you mentioned there. Boetsch, being a tough guy, I think Jacare understands that, and I think he's going to come out and pull out the victory against Boetsch, avoiding the upset to keep moving up and gaining ground in that division as well.
Now let's move right now to the co-main event. This was a late ad, semi-late ad. People are pretty excited. Anderson Silva is coming back to his weight class. He last fought Cormier, and it was the last minute. We all know what happened there. But he's going to be fighting Derek Brunson. And Brunson was on a roll. I think it was 5 or 6 knockouts in a row until he had a misfortune down in Australia. But I think my prediction in this one, I think Brunson bounces back and takes out the legend Anderson Silva.
I'm gonna have to go with Brunson as well. I think the one thing that has been consistently hurting Anderson Silva, of course, he's had some bad breaks, with the Bisping fight, the mouthpiece.
No pun intended.
I think the only thing that's catching up to him is father time at this point, which happens to every fighter in every martial arts type of sport. Once father time catches up to you, that's the only thing that can beat you. And I think Brunson, with this late ad, this short notice, I think he's going to come in and just be a little bit too much for Anderson Silva, the legend there. But I predict an exciting fight. I think it is going to be maybe fight of the night. When I look at all those, I think that's the thing. Anderson Silva's going to come out on top of his game. Brunson's youth, I think it makes for an exciting fight.
And then let's move on to the main event. We got Holly Holm versus Jermaine Durandame in the first 145 title, and I think I'm gonna go with Holly in this fight. She's coming off 2 losses, and I think she's too good of a fighter to not learn from those losses. I think that she's gonna use her movement a lot better in this fight, and not get caught up in fighting Durandame's fight. Although Durandame is a world-class Muay Thai fighter, and I just think that Holly's movement causes problems for that type of fighter.
Yeah, I think Durandame, her key is going to be getting the fight in the clinch and doing damage when they're in the clinch. But I think, like you mentioned, Holly's too smart. Let's not forget, in her boxing career, Holly lost some fights that she bounced back from. So if anybody knows how to bounce back from a loss or multiple losses, it's definitely Holly Holm. And she has a lot at stake. I think she's very motivated. Let's face it, she is the first woman that can win 2 belts, multiple belts in the UFC. This is her opportunity to do so, and I think she's going to be highly motivated for this fight, and she's going to come out on top of her game and really cause problems for Durandame in this fight, keeping the distance. But if it gets in the clinch, look out. But I think Holly's too smart of a fighter to get caught up in that clinch and play into Durandame's hand.
I wouldn't be surprised in this fight if Holly got a little frustrated early and maybe even looked for that takedown. I know that she's been working with Coach Izzy Martinez down at Jackson Wink. He's come down from Chicago, and I think that's a part of her game that she's gonna use one of these days. That's gonna surprise some people. And I was kind of looking for it in the last fight. It didn't quite happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw something like that to steal around in the last 30 seconds, or really kind of change it up on Durandame and really put her on her heels.
Another reason I'm going to go with Holly is I think she's going to be more comfortable fighting at this weight.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a factor in this. I think she's going to be more comfortable, and I think she's going to come into this fight with very good conditioning, and she's going to come in this fight strong. And look out! I think Durandame, could be heading, walking down the train tracks, and there might be a train coming through, and Holly Holm could be the first woman to win multiple belts in the UFC. Let's wait and see.
All right, well, I think that's it. We'll wrap it up today with UFC 208 preview and predictions. Be sure to subscribe and like on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook, and look out more. We got some boxing coming up here in the next couple of weeks we'll be going over, and just look out for Chewy Beav for any of your fight news and rumors. Talk to you later.
See you guys.